three-phase induction motor. So in the syllabus, even in the GATE syllabus, three-phase induction motor, first it occupies construction details. So construction details, type of rotor, then principle of operation, slip, cogging and crawling, equivalent circuit, torque slip characteristics, condition for maximum torque, losses and efficiency, load test, no load and block rotor test, circle diagram, and separation of losses, double gauge induction motor with synchronous induction motor. These are all the syllabus. So first, in this syllabus, from this syllabus, we are going to take multiple choice questions. So this is for gate type pattern. So regarding skewing of motor bar, the squirrel cage induction motor, that is called as SCIM, squirrel cage induction motor, which state is false. So they are asking, it prevents cogging, it increases the starting torque, it produces more uniform torque, it reduces motor hum during its operation. So here, why we are skewing the rotor bar? So, but only once you learn the concept, you can easily identify the answer. So answer is it increases the starting torque. Okay, well and good. Then what is the purpose? What is the purpose of skewing the rotor bars? Because the rotor bars is not a straight one, it is slightly skewed. Then what is the purpose? Once the rotor bar is straight, what may be happen? What may be happen? What's the purpose of skewing the rotor bar? So once it is straight, I for a test purpose, if the rotor bar is straight, what will happen? It did not start to rotate. It simply in the stable position and producing the sound, because due to high amount of current passes through the rotor bar. Due to this, the rotor bar start to heat. So due to the high amount of current, ultimately I squared R loss will be arised. Ultimately, when you get the high amount of I squared R loss, this will lead to the high amount of heat produced in the rotor, which make the rotor become very hot. If it is skewed, we get the good starting and a smooth starting. So it will increase the starting torque. So let me move to the second question. The principle of operation of a three-phase induction motor. The principle of operation of a three-phase induction motor is mostly similar to that of a synchronous motor. Synchronous motor, we know that. Then repulsion start induction motor. Then transformer with a shorted secondary. Then capacitor start induction run motor. Capacitor start induction run motor. So here we have four answers. The principle of operation of a three-phase induction motor is mostly similar to that of synchronous motor. What is synchronous motor? The motor which run in only a synchronous speed, that is a synchronous motor, but induction motor cannot be able to reach the synchronous speed, hence it is otherwise called asynchronous motor. Then repulsion. So the repulsion start induction motor is one of the type, but here it is not directly work as similar to the three-phase induction motor. It run under the repulsion principle. Then move to the last one, capacitor start induction run motor. The capacitor start induction run motor is a single phase induction motor. This is not good for our answer. So leave the D, leave the A and leave the B. The balance is transformer with a shorted secondary. Transformer with a shorted secondary. That means while you are providing supply to the primary, and imagine the secondary is shorted. Here the three-phase induction motor is also work like a transformer, and the primary is a stator winding and the secondary, that is a rotor bars, that is rotor winding. The rotor windings are short circuited. The rotor windings are short circuited by using end rings. So the transformer with a short circuited secondary is our suitable answer. Hope you understand. Then, so our answer is correct. So answer C, transformer with a short circuited secondary. The magnetizing current drawn by a transformer. The magnetizing current means the current which is used to magnetizing the transformer winding. That means producing the magnetic field. And the induction motor is the cause of their dash power factor. So magnetizing current. Let me, in previous question we are compare three-phase induction motor with a transformer. So let me imagine we are study the transformer topic. So in the transformer we are seeing that ideal transformer. In the ideal transformer there is a no losses, only the current at the state of no load. The current taken by the transformer is pure inductive to producing the magnetic field. So that indicate with the absence of resistance and inductance resistance, there is no I squared R loss, but it purely a zero power factor lagging. That indicate the magnetic current is always lagging. So the magnetic current drawn by a transformer and an induction motor is a cause of their dash power factor, means it is a lagging power factor. Don't go for zero, because it is here the question did not indicate ideal. If the question indicate ideal transformer, we can able to compare the zero with the other, because if it is ideal, we can take zero power factor lagging. So we can consider as a zero for a correct answer. But here the question did not mention ideal. So we can take lagging as our answer. So this is not a internal winding. So unity we did not imagine. Here the transformer and inductance possess 100% of winding. There is no value of capacitor. Suppose the question is capacitor start and capacitor run induction motor, means we can consider the leading. So leave the leading answer, leave the unity answer due to the absence of ideal. So leave the zero. So the balance answer is lagging. The effect of increase the length of air gap. So effect of increase the length of air gap in an induction motor will be to increase the power factor, speed, magnetizing current, and air gap flux. So here the wording, the effect of increase the length of air gap. So while you designing the induction motor, the guidelines give you how much minimum air gap you are designed, that will increase the efficiency, because once the air gap is increased, length of air gap is increased, this will lead to the magnetization loss. So magnetization loss means we lost the magnetic flux. So magnetic flux in the useless manner. So air gap possesses more magnetic flux. So this is not give the speed. So leave the speed as an answer. So even though it will affect in the power factor, that will not increase the power factor. So the magnetic, while the magnet high amount of access of magnetic flux, it will not lead to the increase in power factor. It will lead to decrease in power factor. When the question asked in this manner, an induction motor will be to decrease the decrease means we can consider the power factor. Here the term used is increase. So we did not no need to consider the power factor. So then air gap flux and magnetizing current. So we must confused with the two term only, the magnetizing current and the air gap flux. So once the air gap is increased, so air gap flux slightly decreased. So we can conclude as magnetizing current. Once the air gap length is increased in the induction motor, it will be increased in magnetizing current. Let me move to the next question. In a three-phase induction motor, the relative speed of the stator flux with respect to dash is 0. So in three-phase induction motor, the relative speed of the stator flux with respect to dash is 0. So in induction motor, what is the relative speed? The speed between stator and rotor. The relative speed is between stator and rotor. What are the speed? Here we have rotating magnetic field that is present in the stator. Then by using that, the rotor also producing the magnetic flux. So the magnetic flux present in the rotor and stator is made 0. That is a relative speed. Here we have stator winding. Leave the stator winding. That is not a good answer. Then rotor. So here the rotor is 0 means there is no terms. Then space. Which space there is not mentioned. So leave the answer D. And rotor flux. So that is a quite good answer. So in a three-phase induction motor, the relative speed of stator flux with respect to rotor flux is 0. That means the rotating magnetic field, the speed of the stator flux and the rotor producing magnetic field. That is the relative speed between stator and a rotor. Sixth question. An 8-pole wound rotor induction motor operating on 60 Hz supply is driven at 1800 rpm by a prime mover in the opposite direction of a revolving magnetic field. The frequency of rotor current is 60 Hz, the 8-pole. So 60 Hz, 8-pole means, so we must consider that 8-pole. What is the synchronous speed? Ns is equal to 120 F divided by P. So 120 into 60 divided by 8, that is 900 rpm. The synchronous speed of this machine is 900 rpm, but the speed is 1800 rpm. Then the frequency of rotor current is, so it is the answer, the 60 Hz is not correct. So some of them think, so 900 rpm in the 900 RPM is a synchronous speed, but we have 1800 mean 120 hertz. That is not correct. So here the stator have 60 hertz, the rotor have twice the speed. It will replace 3 times experience of frequency. 3 times experience of frequency in the rotor. The frequency of rotor current is 3 times the stator frequency. So hence the 180 hertz is a correct answer. Let me move to the third one, sorry, seventh. A three-phase, four-pole. A three-phase, four-pole, 50 hertz induction motor runs at a speed of 1440 RPM. The rotating field by the rotor, the rotating field produced by the rotor rotates at a speed of dash RPM with respect to the rotor. Here they are asking the rotating field produced by the rotor rotates at a speed of dash RPM with respect to the rotor. So here they are asking RPM only. So they are asking what is the lagging between stator and a rotor. Simple thing, don't confuse. They are asking what is the lagging between stator and a rotor. So first we must identify the stator speed. So here it is a 50 hertz induction motor, 4-pole. So this is enough for us. So NS is equal to 120F divided by P. So 120 into 50, 6000 divided by 4 means we have 1500 RPM. That is a stator speed. But here they mentioned induction motor runs a speed of 1440 RPM. So here 1500 minus 1440, we get 60. That will implies the rotating field produced by the rotor rotate. The rotating field producing by the rotor rotates at a speed of 60 RPM with respect to the rotor. So this is 60 is our answer. Leave the 1500 and 1440. Then move to the next question. In a three-phase induction motor, the rotor field in a three-phase induction motor, the rotor field rotates at a synchronous speed with respect to. In a three-phase induction motor, the rotor field rotates at synchronous speed with respect to. So here they are mentioning the rotor. Leave the rotor. Stator flux. So it may be considered none of the above. Leave it. So we have choice between stator and stator flux. Here they are mentioning three-phase induction motor. The rotor field rotates at synchronous speed with respect to stator. That is a correct answer. Irrespective of the next question, irrespective of the supply frequency, the torque developed by a irrespective of the supply frequency, the torque developed by a squirrel cage induction motor, this is mentioned as SCIM, is the same whenever dash in the same. So the supply frequency, irrespective of supply frequency, the torque developed by the. So here we can understand that is not including the supply voltage, rotor resistance and external load. So it may be included with slip speed. So slip speed our answer. Then move to the next question. In case of three-phase induction motor having NS is equal to 1500 RPM. In case of three-phase induction motor having NS is equal to 1500 RPM and run with a slip S is equal to 0.04. So the revolving speed of the stator flux is in the space is the revolving speed of stator flux is flux in space is dash RPM. B, the rotor speed is dash RPM. C, the rotor of speed of the rotor flux relative to the rotor is dash RPM. And the speed of the rotor flux with respect to the stator is dash RPM. So answer we have. So first thing A. So we need to answer the filling the blanks. The revolving speed of the rotor flux, revolving speed of the stator flux in the space is. So simply they are giving NS is equal to 1500 RPM. So that is the synchronous speed. That is the speed of stator flux. Then rotor speed. Here they are providing slip speed. The slip is 0.04. So slip is equal to ns minus n divided by ns minus ns minus n divided by ns is equal to slip. So the function is ns, we have given the value 1500. So n we did not know. Slip is equal to 0.04. So calculate the speed, that is 1440 RPM. Then in the previous question we solved that the speed of the rotor flux relative to the rotor is. So that is a speed difference between ns minus n, that is a relative of rotor speed. We simply subtract 1440 with ns 1500. At the time we get 60 RPM. Then the speed of the rotor flux with respect to the stator is, so the relative speed is 1500 RPM. Then let me move to the next one. The number of stator poles. The number of stator poles producing in the rotating magnetic field of a three-phase induction motor having 3 slots per pole per phase is, so the number of stator poles producing in the rotating magnetic field of three-phase induction motor having 3 slots per pole per phase is, the answer is 6. So 3 pole, so 3 phase. So we get 6. By adding 3 plus 3, we get 6. So the power factor, next question, the power factor of squirrel cage induction motor is option A, low at light load only, low at heavy load only, low at light and heavy load both, low at rated load only. So we know that in the no load condition or low load condition, the most of the current which is used to magnetizing the winding, so magnetizing the stator, the current flow in the winding is to magnetizing the stator. So the circuit which is used to magnetizing the component, which is always lagging power factor. So which indicate when the motor is in the low load. So the load is very minimum. The stator current, the most part of the stator current which is used to magnetizing the stator when it is heavy load, the current have different component, that is I squared R. So we have more active component present in the heavy load. Due to that, the power factor be normal. In the rated load, the power factor is good. Good means it is in 0.7 or 0.8 range. But in case of low load only, the question is the power factor of single phase induction motor is very low at light load only. But it is not low, comparatively low at heavy load. It is not low at light and heavy load both. So we conclude that the power factor is low at a state of low load only. Then we move to the 13th question. Which of the following rotor quality, which of the following rotor quantity in a squirrel cage induction motor does not depends on its slip? So which of the following rotor quantity in a squirrel cage induction motor does not depend on its slip? Reactance. So reactance is a value of XL. So we know that what is the XL value? 2 pi FL. So that is directly depend on slip. So when the slip value changes, ultimately the reactance value also change. So ER that is mentioned in the different books. So it depends directly on slip value. So induced EMF is directly depend on reactance. So when the reactance is depend on the slip means ultimately induced EMF is also depend on the slip. Then frequency. So F dash is equal to S into F. That is a slip into supply frequency. So the frequency is also dependent. Induced EMF is also dependent. The reactance is also dependent. But the speed is a term of mechanical term. It did not depend on the direct towards the slip. Okay. Hope you all of them understand. Let me move to the next question. A 6-pole 50 Hertz 3-phase induction motor is running at 950 rpm. 6 poles mean it is 6 poles. The synchronous speed is 1000. The motor is asynchronous motor, hence it run in 950 rpm and has rotor copper loss of 5 kilowatt. And the rotor copper loss is 5 kilowatt. Its rotor input is dash kilowatt. So rotor copper loss is 5 kilowatt and its rotor input is, so rotor copper loss is 5 kilowatt. So it's a 6 pole. So the answer is 100. So the copper loss of 6 pole 50 Hertz 3-phase induction motor running at 950 rpm. So the copper loss is 5 kilowatts. So it indicates the rotor input is 100 kilowatt. The efficiency of a 3-phase induction motor is approximately proportional to, the efficiency of a 3-phase induction motor is approximately proportional to, it's not approximately proportional to speed, it's not approximately proportional to ns, that is synchronous speed. So leave the 2. It not directly approximate with the s. So because the slip value is always in the least manner, so the approximate equivalent is 1 minus s. So if the slip is 0.02 means the efficiency is 96%. Based on the slip value, we can calculate by 1 minus s. Then a 6-pole 50 Hertz 3-phase induction motor has a full load speed of 950 rpm. At a half load speed, it would be dash rpm. So we must consider that we have 4 answers. So 1000, let me take a first choice as 1000. So let me first find the synchronous speed of the induction motor. We have 6 pole 50 hertz. So 120 into 50, 6000 divided by 6, we have 1000 RPM. So this is the induction motor. We are aware that induction motor never run in synchronous speed. So leave the D. So once it run in full load, once the motor run in full load, at the time the speed is 950 RPM. So if the load is decreased, the speed may be increased, not decreased. This is not a DC series motor. If it is a DC series motor, once the speed is load is decreased, the speed may be increased. Here also the same concept. So let me come to the topic. So when load is decreased means ultimately the machine speed will be increased. So in previous condition the speed is 950 RPM. So the decreasing of speed is not possible. So for A, the option A and B can be eliminated. So the balance one is C, 975 RPM. So let me move to the next one. If the rotor input of a squirrel cage induction motor, let me write pa. If the rotor input of a squirrel cage induction motor running with a slip of 10 percentage is 100 kilowatt. The gross power developed by its rotor is dash kilowatt. So here itself we get answer from the question. So we have 10 percentage slip. So the answer is 90 percentage. So pull out torque, pull in torque and pull out torque. We know that pull out torque of a squirrel cage induction motor occur at the value of slip where the rotor power factor equal to the pull out torque of a squirrel cage induction motor occurs at the value of slip where the rotor power factor equal to, there is no chance for unity. So pull out torque I have less power factor, so we must consider B and D. So it is not the power factor lead to 0.5. So we get the answer of 0.707. When applied, next question, when applied rated voltage per phase is reduced by a 1/2 the starting torque of a squirrel cage induction motor become the applied rated voltage per phase is reduced by 1/2. That means if we are provide 400 voltage, we are now applying 200 voltage. So the guess answer may be 1 by 2, but it will give 2 times the effect. So it will reduce the starting torque of 1 by 4th of a normal voltage. So when you reduce 1 by 2 means the starting torque will reduce 2 times, that is 1 by 4th. So that's why the voltage control method is not preferred for heavy starting torque machines. If a maximum torque of an induction motor is 200 kg per meter at a slip of 12%, the torque at 6% would be dash. So torque at 6%. The slip of 12%, we get 200 kilogram meter. When the torque at 6%, what will be the answer? So that definitely the answer is not a 50 or 40. That will much not reduced, because when the slip is reduced percentage, when the torque did not increase, because once it reaches the maximum torque, it once again start to reduce, that we know that. So once that the slip is start to increase, that means the percentage is start to reduce, we know that, but we did not, the torque did not reduce more slightly. So when it is reduced up to 160 percentage. If we move to the next problem, the fractional slip of an induction motor is the ratio. Fractional slip of an induction motor is the ratio. Option A, rotor copper loss, rotor input. B, stator copper loss, stator input. C, rotor copper loss, rotor output. D, rotor copper loss, stator input. So all of them may confused. Let me segregate one by one. Rotor copper loss and rotor input, that is not a proper ratio. Rotor copper loss and stator copper loss is not a ratio compared for our question. There is a controversy between A and B. Rotor copper loss and rotor input, stator copper loss and stator input. So now we back to the question. The fractional slip. Here we have the slip value means that dominate in the rotor side only. So we can choose as answer A, rotor copper loss and the rotor input. We know the answer present in the screen, but how the answer arised, that is a very important. Then we move to the torque developed by a three-phase induction motor depends on the following three factors. The torque developed by a three-phase induction motor depends on the following three factors. A. Speed, frequency, number of poles. So torque, we did not consider that. Torque, voltage, current and stator impedance. Third, synchronous speed, rotor speed and frequency, rotor EMF, rotor current and rotor power factor. So while you considering about the torque developed, the torque developed only in the rotor. In that may and that way we can identify the D is the answer. So rotor EMF and the rotor current producing the magnetic field that will repulse with the stator rotating magnetic field, then only the torque will be developed. So balanced rings are in the stator side. So we can easily identify it is the answer is a D. Then we move to the next problem. If the stator voltage and the frequency of an induction motor are reduced approximately, its locked rotor current is reduced, torque developed is increased, magnetizing current is decreased, and D both A and B. So here locked rotor current is reduced, that can be taken as answer, and torque developed is increased is also a best answer.